All right. So we messed up schedule it again. We're gonna do another podcast. I was a guest on a different show talking about fractional CMOs, uh, chief marketing officer. That's when you hire someone not to be a full-time chief marketing officer for your business. It's when you need either someone for a day a week, a half a day a week, or an interim CMO to get you until you can hire someone full time. It's a real thing. It's something I have to explain a lot. I get contracted out to be a fractional CMO now and again. And it's one of those things that it's kind of a great way to really up your marketing department's game because you usually handle strategy and you're the execution person in terms of following up, making sure we're on time, we're hitting the benchmarks, we're hitting the key performance indicators, KPIs, if you will. And so, you know, all agencies, marketing agencies should have fractional CMOs and not account executives or client services or sales enablement representative or account liaison, whatever it is, your point person for if you're working with a marketing agency, they should act as a fractional CMO, taking you from strategy all the way to execution and then some, and then refinement and then feedback loop and all that stuff. So I was a guest on Dean Way's podcast, WAYE. If you want to get a hold of him, it's winstonwrites.com. Because he's a copywriter, winstonwrites.com. And so he asked that we not just put the full video out there. So keeping his wishes, I took out it. He really did like a very efficient interview show. He has you on and he'll ask a question to one person and then go to the other person. And it's kind of like same question. It's really interesting to see how efficient he is with this. I think he's got 170 episodes in a year or something crazy. And I get why. The funny story about this is I got on this because he hit me up with probably a cold programmatic in-mail message on LinkedIn a while ago. And I said, no, thanks. I don't want to do a pre-interview. And then because why would I do a pre-interview? I get why other people need to do it. I don't want to do a pre-interview. I want to come in, you got me, let's roll. But about, I don't know, months later, maybe a year later, he hit me up again. I said, yeah, I'll come on your show. I'll do anybody's show. I have no problem doing that. It's easy for me. And then we arranged a time that and I was ready to go. And by ready to go, I mean I rescheduled it once and then I was ready to go and it was a pre-interview. I was like, damn it. So I ended up doing that, thinking it was the real interview. And then we scheduled the real one and I did it with another fractional CMO named Heidi Treadwell, but you won't hear much of her because I cut her out. So what I tried to do is keep all my answers on this podcast for y'all and for our audience. And I try to be funny on it a little bit. It's kind of tough in these business ones because they usually stonewall you because they're not used to anybody being anywhere near funny. And so what else do I want to make sure I told you about? Oh, while if you watch on video, I look crazy. I have resting bitch face already when I'm listening. And it got even worse because I was listening and I had to pee so bad. Been trying to drink a lot more water. I don't want kidney stones. A guy spooked me about that. I worked with 20 plus years ago who said he drank nothing but Mountain Dew and had 7 kidney stones, and it's worse than any pregnancy pain. Apparently, giving birth or whatever is pushing out a kidney stone through your dick hole. And I said, no, thanks. And so I keep every now and again I get reminded of that and drink a lot of water. So I look like I have an intense resting bitch face listening, where I look like a wrestler that's getting like someone else just came into the arena and I'm listening to him talk shit about me. And it's that kind of face. So if you're watching on video, have fun with that. And we'll get into it. Let's see, anything else? No, we'll just go right into it. Have fun with my resting.
All right. Okay, so scenario number one, and then after you answer this, we're going to switch over and talk to law for a moment. I imagine most of your clients are completely or mostly virtual, so you don't actually like go to their premises necessarily all that often. But in this scenario, they're only 5 minutes from your home, so you've signed this client. Today's the first official day. You're going to go into their building, right? So you're going to walk in on day one. What's the dream scenario when you, as a fractional CMO, walk into a brand new client, and what's the nightmare scenario? All right, fair enough. Law, hi, nice to
Hey,
meet you again. So tell folks a little bit about you, and then talk about your, day one nightmare versus your day one dream scenario.
I have a dual kind of Batman-ish life, Batman Bruce Wayne kind of life. I'm the president of my firm, Tocobaga, TOCOBA.GA. If you're looking for the website, and it's a mostly lead gen B2B, B2C, B2B2C integrated marketing agency slash small business advisory, because I have a business plan writing background.
Right.
And then I have another career as a stand-up comedian. I might not be very funny on here, but both kind of help each other out in a weird yin yang kind of way. The dream scenario is you come in and have an honest discussion. They tell you what's actually wrong.
Right.
You don't find that out later.
They didn't hide it. Yeah.
Didn't hide it. Being a comic, when I used to hide it in those first intro meetings or the first onboarding meetings, and now I tell them straight up, and it kind of opens up that honesty in a weird way. I don't know why, but they let their hair down and kind of tell me what's really going on. And the worst scenario is kind of the opposite of that, is when they're not giving me all the answers, and you feel it in your, it's intuitive, and you're like, right. What, you can't tell me what the revenue was last year. You can't tell me revenue goals. You can't tell me. I don't think you have a business plan. Most 99% of my clients over 10 years have never had one, not even an outline. But you can't tell me your income statement from last year, or your P&L or something. And so that's when it gets tricky, and you have to become a detective. And I don't want to. That's a waste. That's wasted time on both sides.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. Okay, so Lost, let's stick together for a second. Scenario 2 of our 3. Okay, you're the main speaker. You're on stage. There's 250 people in the audience. They all came from corporate. They all became fractional CMOs yesterday. So to them, like, you are the expert at fractional CMO, right? So I'm gonna between you and Heidi, we're gonna go back and forth. There's like 3 parts of the speech that I'm going to prompt you for, and then you finish the thought for me. Okay.
So Mad Libs?
Kind of like Mad Libs. Yeah.
Okay.
Your answer can be as long as it needs to be.
Okay.
Right. Like as we say in copywriting, it should be as long as it needs to be, but no longer. Right. So, first is, okay, guys, welcome to the world of being a fractional CMO. I can tell you right now, the thing you're going to be most shocked by is
having to explain what a fractional CMO is to almost everybody you meet, including not prospective clients, just almost everybody.
Yeah.
Most people don't know what a CMO is, so you have to kind of explain what the job is first.
And Law, what do you think? Most clients just don't understand what?
They don't know what they don't know. And it's not to be a little like obtuse to say that answer. It's most of them don't know what their brand actually is and the messaging they push out. And they don't know who their target audience should be. So when I walk in, I go, who do you think your customer, client, patient is? And they can't really tell me. If they can't tell me military like callback, they don't know.
Right. All right. And then Law, some intern is trying to signal you that it's time to get off stage, and they're bringing up the music even, right? And they're trying to get people to applaud, but you're like, no, no, one more thing, one more thing. If I get the most important lesson I can ever give you from now and the next few years about getting clients, the most important client getting lesson is what?
Follow your own advice. Don't get in your own way. Entrepreneur, you're an entrepreneur, really. And the one thing all entrepreneurs have in common is they can get in their own way. The successful ones don't.
Right. Okay. So third of the three scenarios, you're at a convention, conference kind of thing. You're on the floor, right? We're at the booths and everyone milling around. And there are a lot of fractional CMOs there, and there are a lot of companies looking to hire fractional CMOs, or at least to talk to them, right? So you're sort of talking to prospective clients on the floor. Heidi, as you talk to prospective clients, when it comes to the topic of marketing, what do most clients overrate and what do they underrate in the world of marketing as far as getting results or getting where they need to go?
I
What's
feel like a lot of
overrated? And Law, how about you when you're talking to prospective clients?
Right
What's
now, I'm
what's
trying
overrated and underrated?
I'm trying to hide my dog in the background of this
You
video.
don't have to. It's
Virtually.
2025, man. Dogs are part of
yeah.
the routine.
But it's like distracting me. I look and it's creating a light like I'm holy, like I'm
Yeah.
Jesus' brother. Give me the question again, please.
When you're talking to prospects and they're talking to you about marketing, what's overrated and underrated from what they talk about?
Most people come to you with a tactic in mind, and it's usually because them or their partner is like has an interaction with it. We should be on Pinterest because my wife's on Pinterest. And you're like, whoa. Here's how you should think. Macro to micro. Tactics is like the last thing. You don't even know who your audience is.
Yeah.
You don't know what your brand is. And we don't have any goals set, any KPIs, any benchmarks. We don't have campaigns going. Tactics are the last thing we're going to talk about.
Yeah. And what's underrated?
Writing a business plan. And really, it doesn't have to be one that's 60 pages because that's a lot. It's a lot of research, most business plans, and it doesn't have to be for getting a loan or anything. I think people have a weird misnomer kind of knowledge about that. I think an outline of a business plan will work. Bplan.com, there's a bunch of them out there that are like templated.
Right.
What's your mission, vision, core values? Who are you? What do you do? Why are you better? Why does the customer, the client, patient benefit from what y'all are doing as a product or service? So I don't think people think about the basics because you get really caught up. You get really busy and you don't take a minute to step back and go, what are we doing? And that's what we're good for as a fractional CMO.
Well, let's talk about basics for a second. That's a good thing. So the next question is sort of our scenario. You're on the floor. You end up talking to a refreshingly honest prospective client. Okay. And they say, look, man, like, I don't even understand this part of it. Like, what is marketing? Law.
Marketing's an aggregate of a lot of different tactical kind of strategies employed. That kind of sounds like it was ChatGPT that wrote that definition. So let me try to. It's not just advertising. It's not just social media organically. It's not just social media ads. It's not just email marketing. It's all these things integrated and omni-channel, so they're leveraged on top of each other. The scenario I always like to use as an example, because everybody's bought a car. On average, there's 25 touch points when you buy a car. 19 are digital, 6 are offline. And they all leverage on each other. When you think you're doing pocket research on the lot, they got you geo-fenced in to their own websites you don't know they own. And they're giving you information that you think is valuable, but it's their own information back to you. So
I'm going to switch to Law now. When I come back to you, it's your turn to ask a question. You can ask a question of anyone else on the podcast and any question you want. Law, so when you're talking to prospective clients, like, what's a green flag and what's a red flag? Like, no. Like, not only do I think that I'm not right for you, I'm not sure you should be talking to any fractional CMOs. Like, what's a green flag and a red flag with a prospect?
just had this happen, and if you go to my podcast, you can hear me talk about it because the guy was such a jerk. I had to just what's a podcast better for than venting out this stuff in a funny way. The thing was listening. It's on both sides. Red flag. They don't listen. They're not taking it in. They just want to plug in something to fill what they think is what they need as a seat for their business, and they're not really taking it in. The good one, the green flag, is when they're listening and imbibing it in and really digesting it. And usually the really best indicator is I'll get an email a day or two later or something, and they're like throwing ideas at me after the things we talked about. And that's always like the best kind of client,
All right. When I come back to you, you can ask anyone in the podcast any question you want. But Heidi, what's your question?
Well, Law, I'm curious if you would talk a little bit about how AI has affected what you do, either specific tools you're adopting or even specific guardrails you have that maybe keep AI out of your business. How is that becoming part of your business?
I look at AI right now in 2025 as, it's like the TI-83 calculator, right? It's going to help you a lot. It doesn't do everything for you yet. But you need to learn how to do sine, cosine, and tangent on it for class. I kind of look at it that way. It's not the end all be all, but you need to keep your eye on it, and you need to know how to use it going forward, because you got business calculus 2 coming up, because this isn't going to stop. AI, I don't know if y'all saw the AI robot that beefed with someone in a Chinese parade recently, but it looked like a Philadelphia Eagles fan after a loss. I mean, it was like bucking shoulders and getting in someone's face. It was crazy. So that's the scary part of AI. The stuff for work, I mean, it's SEO has been a big problem, but SEO has been gamed for 20 years. And so I'm glad there's things like I go to ChatGPT when I need a real answer instead of going to Google like I've trained myself, because I can't find the real answer because everything's so gamed. So that's where I'm at. I love finding out about new stuff, but it can get overwhelming. So I subscribe to a bunch of newsletters that just kind of go, hey, here are kind of 10 apps that are going on. Keep your eye on these. And I find out if like some of these newsletters all say the same one, that's worth checking out.
All right. And Law, what's your question?
Do I need to ask a question that's business related? Because I have questions.
It can be any question you want.
When I do a stand-up show, I like asking very weird questions to the crowd. Heidi, I'm going to ask you a question. You're going to speak for all women in the U.S. So no, not too hard.
No pressure.
Yeah. I want to know your thoughts on the Cybertruck. What do you think about it? Women hate it. They have a visceral reaction. They hate it so much. See, this is what I have a brain. This is good for marketing. I observe behavior and I can't not look at it.
Yeah.
Every woman hates every woman I know hates the Cybertruck. It's so ugly though. It's pretty. That's what I say.
It is distinctive, no doubt. And I definitely thought that Tesla's entry into the market in part was heavily based on design. So the Cybertruck wins for being distinctive, but my 16-year-old son, who is very into cars, made me sit down and watch a YouTube video which pitted the Cybertruck against a conventional truck. And that poor little truck the Cybertruck was destroyed by the end of that video. So I can't get behind it, but I don't want to yuck somebody else's yum. I feel like right now driving Cybertrucks and Teslas in general is somewhat of a political statement. And so you should be clear about what your identity is and if you really want that to be part of it.
See, I think it's more men are barnacles and women are flowers. And you guys we're sharp edges. We like things like that. This is very broad. I'm painting with broad strokes, obviously, but I don't know. Maybe I just want a truck where no other truck driver respects me.
Well, you could get that with a Cybertruck for
Right,
sure.
right. I mean, it's not like I'm picking up girls with my 2003 Yukon with 2 car seats in the back right now. So, which is my favorite. It's almost a classic.
All right. And Law, how about you? Who should contact you these days, and what's the best way?
My niche has been law firms.
Right.
I'm in Tampa, which I think is technically the most marketed per dollar on for law firms per capita in any city or something like that. Something crazy like that. But dad was an attorney. Uncle's the head of a law firm of 100 lawyers. I've been around lawyers my whole life. They're going to challenge you, and a lot of people in marketing don't like that. So that became our niche. But also another niche is VC firms or private equity firms that do that kind of platform thing where they're scooping up mom and pop businesses and they need to wrap branding around it while they're handling the operation, setting it up to sell. And then anybody can get a hold of me if they want. Law at Tocobaga, TOCOBA.GA is my email. And, if we're not right for you, I will point you in the right direction to someone like Heidi.
All right. All right. Both of you, thanks very much for being here. This has been fantastic.